when will this start? Sure. I'll go on mute here. Is there somewhere I can chat with the group that isn't seen by others? Is this...
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Intel Live. I am your co-host, and I'm here with the illustrious, very talented, overly gifted, extremely handsome Alex. How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you.
I'm doing well, sir. It's good to see you, too. If you guys notice that Roby is not at his usually speed, why don't you tell them why are you going a little bit, you're like in 4th or 5th gear instead of your 6th gear.
Yes, I am. Actually, guys, honestly, so we have a very special guest here that's going to be joining us a little bit later. We have Tico from Amazon Game Studios, and we're going to be talking about Thrones and Liberty. And he gave us a ton of pointers, right? Like, and honestly, guys, talk about being thrown into the deep end of the pool. Alex, am I right? That game is incredible. It's graphically awesome, but there is a lot to it. And so basically, Sarah was like, hey, so I got some tips from Tico, and I'm not blaming Sarah. Sarah, you are awesomely amazing as always, okay? But she's like, hey, so we want you to get to level 20. And so we finished up Mod Workshop last night, which went awesome, right? I had a lot of fun. We had duck bottom moments. There was some interpretive dance. And then I was like, you know what, I went and got some dinner. I was like, you know what, after this, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to play my 2 hours and get to level 20. 5.5 hours later, I hit level 20, and that was at 3 in the morning. So, yeah, I got the goal. And guys, I am actually incredibly grateful that I got that much time with the game because I have so many questions for Tico. So many that I think if anybody's looking at this game, because we had a ton of people who actually tuned in, which I don't know why you guys aren't sleeping. I know, Sarah, you were definitely asleep. Alex, you were definitely asleep. There was just a lone Roby out there. But they, it gave me a great vibe for what kind of questions you guys may want to answer as you dive into this game. Now, the cool thing is, Thrones and Liberty is free to play. You can go download it now. And then we have some very special giveaways, right, Sarah, that are happening for this game. Do you want to tell them a little bit about that? And then we'll start talking about the news and everything else.
Yeah, so we've got these special codes that will actually get you guys cool stuff, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, but these are things that you cannot buy and you can only get here. So not only are we going to give you kind of the inside track today, but you're going to be able to get some really cool stuff that you can't get elsewhere.
Yeah, and I'm very, very excited. So yes, some people were like, I missed a 5.5 hour stream. You did. But it was also very late, so there you go. So I am running on some sleep, but luckily Sarah gave me some really, Sarah basically who plans a lot of our shows gave Alex and I, honestly, stuff that we love to talk about. So I am like energized by the power of technology and gaming, which means that I've got all the power and energy that I need to get through today's show, and I'm actually really, really excited about it. But before we go too far into this whole thing, Alex, how are you doing, buddy? I feel like you're just so busy.
Well, it's not only me, it's also Sarah. We're all getting ready a lot of things. Next week is going to be very busy. I think you're going to be joining us next week on Friday, right, Sarah?
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, on Friday. So you guys don't miss it. There's a little special surprise for you guys on Friday. So we're busy doing that. I've been busy trying to get some other content that is related to that. So it's just running like a headless chicken.
And the good thing is you actually got to spend almost 2 hours of time in the game that we're playing today too, right? So unlike the last time, which That one I will blame on our overlord Sarah when she's like, you know what, guys, we want you to play the Elden Ring expansion. that one was like not that bad. That one was like crazy, and both Alex and I rose to challenge. This one was just a little bit like we kind of found out yesterday. So all in all, like he was leading the charge. Yesterday he was like, Roby, I'm in. I'm on Talandre. Like here's my character. Like he was ahead, but then I think we were just like, okay. And he knows me. I never back down from a challenge, right?
No, never. And just like you, I started playing around like 9:30. And I'm like going through all this stuff. I think I spent too much time on the character development.
Oh, and guys,
I was like,
wait till you see the character creation in this game. It is insane. So, but we've talked a lot about that already. We're already like stealing the thunder from the end of the show, which is actually going to be really, really cool. And guys, we have more than that because I teased this a little bit last week. And then Alex, I think, have you gotten a few of these laptops in now?
Nope. No. You got them all.
Really?
Yeah, you have them all. I don't get laptops until a lot later.
You have them all. So, guys, we teased this a little bit last week. We opened up the MSI Prestige 14 AI Plus Evo, and then we have the Samsung. The Asus Zenbook S14. I also have a Samsung one on the way as well. But today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the Asus Zenbook S14. The latest Lunar Lake laptop. We're going to show you some stuff around the AI playground. Of course, Alex has got his whole presentation around Lunar Lake, which is actually going to be very, very cool. And so that is the tech content for today. And we have like a deep dive. We're going to show you the AI playground actually running on it using the NPU. We're going to talk a little bit about dude, these things are so crazy, Alex. They are so crazy.
I love them. I mean, I got to play with them for 10 seconds when we did the launch event in Germany, but that was it. But now you get to like really play with them and run into the paces. But the little thing that I got to see, I was like blown out of my mind. So just your reaction when you opened the MSI, it was like, it's so little.
It's so little. And so today, if you're watching, if you follow on my Instagram and stuff like that, we're actually going to release a short on the Prestige. And I used that thing, so for us to shoot all of the content for that, it took a little over 12 hours because as we were spaced out and doing everything else. And I was at 12 hours. We had played some games on it. So I played Cat Quest 3. I had basically done some productivity and actually had also just watched some movies and stuff like that on it. So I was at like 12 hours in and I still had almost a little less than 40% of my battery left. So it was bonkers how much battery that you actually get inside of that. And like, honestly, with, and even when we talk about the Zenbook, which this thing is impressive, especially when you get the screen and everything else in there, like it is such a treat to use and they're so light. Like every time I would hand it to my wife when she would say, she's like, I want this. And she's like, do they have one that does this? I'm like, yes. And she's like, this is so much lighter than my laptop. I'm like, I know. And the battery lasts like 20 hours. So go ahead, Alex. You got a question.
You know what caught me off guard? I was actually using the Zenbook this Monday. We were doing a shoot, and I was just pretty much, long story long. I was just playing with it, not much. Kind of, I need to open a Word document. I need to scroll down, and I didn't realize. And I don't know if you know this, it's a touch screen.
Yeah.
I was like, it's the touch screen.
And it works with their pen, and their pen is incredible. So, and that was the thing is, so my wife, who uses another, she uses another Intel laptop, and so that one is actually it's a pretty hefty laptop. And then I said this one, and she's like, well, can you draw on it? I'm like, yes. And she was like, why did you not give this to me? And I was like, well, why do I give you all the best toys? Anyway, the divorce is in progress, and it's sad. I'm just kidding, going from there. But yeah, no, these things are very, very impressive. So we're going to talk about that. And that's going to be our tech thing. But we only have a little bit of news today. Sarah was like trying to take it easy. She was like, guys, we want to play a lot of games. We want to spend a lot of times on tech. So there's one cool thing, Sarah, that is coming out. And it actually goes live right after the show. Am I right?
There is. Yeah. So Intel Rig Rush is premiering today. So for all of you guys that are on stream today, whether, if you are on our Twitch channel, Discord channels, wherever you are at, please, we're going to drop the links in the chat everywhere. Please go check it out. It's going to be amazing. This is a lot of work that we've been working on to bring you Intel Rig Rush. It's going to be an awesome competition with some familiar faces that we have seen. So Liquid House, Tech Tesseract team is a part of it. So look for the links in chat and go check it out right after the stream today.
Yeah, and I think we have a little trailer. Guys. We're gonna see if this is always a thing, right? Like whether this works and the audio goes to the place it's going to. I'm just gonna make sure it's all gonna work out today beautifully the way it is. It looks like it's there. Let's go ahead and hit. I'm gonna stop the music, and then we're gonna everybody pray to the tech gods. This is the way it always is, right? Here we go. We got a little trailer. Let's see if this is gonna work. Okay, here we go.
Hello and welcome to Intel Rig Rush, where we bring together some of your favorite PC modders to watch them compete.
All right, let's do this.
Seems like it's gonna be a close fight.
I got ahead of myself. I'm so excited.
I may have skipped a couple of screws.
See what I mean? Speed building is a lot more difficult than it seems because we only have 10 minutes left on the clock. I love it. She's confident that she's gonna make it to the final round. Let's go.
We are almost there, my friends.
All right, moment of truth.
We have live.
And let's go! Press the button!
So there it is, Rig Rush, guys, and that is what we're going to be showing. We're going to be debuting that right after this show, and it's going to be. I'm actually really excited about it. I love shows like that. And Alex, you were you a part of this in any way, shape, or form, or is this just something you get to watch from the sidelines?
Contrary to popular belief, there's a lot of us here at Intel, and no, actually, it just was actually to see how great the team did on bringing this whole show together. But no, this one I get to kind of stand on the sidelines and see this whole thing, so it's going to be awesome.
So just so folks know, this actually goes live right after. We're going to drop links to all that stuff at the very end of the show. In fact, our thank you will give you the link as well, so you should definitely go check it out. And this is going to be this is a multi-episode thing, is it not, Sarah?
It is. So look out. We're going to drop in when the different premieres are going to happen into our Discord. So always go to Discord for the newest and greatest information. But you can also make sure that you are always watching our Intel Gaming YouTube channel as well. So they will all premiere there.
Okay, that's going to be super, super awesome. Well, Alex, I think it's that time. We can actually, so we're going to talk about Rig. We've talked about Rig Rush. By the way, there is still a chance. Sorry, we did skip one thing, and that is Alex hinted at it. This Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, NRG Night Market is happening. You are definitely going to want to tune in because there's some actually really cool interactive things that are going to be happening, chances to win great prizes, lots of new information, and all sorts of gaming and all that sort of stuff. It is going to be the kind of event that you want to tune into. And if you are in the local Los Angeles area, you can actually get to go. And if you head over to discord.gg/Intel, you can get all of the information and come and see Intel live without Alex live, unfortunately. So it's Intel live without Alex. There's some way to go in there. So I'll be there. So unfortunately, the better part of us won't be there. But
and I'll be there.
And Sarah will. Then the best part of us will be there.
We got 2 out of 3.
No, you got the best part, which is Sarah, and then you got the second best, Alex, who's unfortunately out of the country, even though he did try to get sick to stay in country and hang out with us.
I tried the best.
You were
and then
doing,
you got me.
You were doing so good to promote it, and then it was like, well, no, it's gonna be.
No, you're gonna be there, Sarah. You're the star. You're the one they want to go see.
Wait. So you're saying that Sarah's gonna be on camera?
No, I don't think so. No, she's not. She's not doing that. She's just gonna be. She'll be the voice.
We've got some really fun things. So it's 3 o'clock next week instead of noon, our regular time. You guys are going to want to check this out and engage. So we don't take the live show on the road very often. So there will be some new extra surprises and fun things.
Yeah, it's going to be super, super exciting. Really, really, really looking forward to that, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, tune in, head over discord.gg/robitech, and then discord.gg/intel. And then the other thing too that's super awesome is twitch.tv/intel at 3 p.m. Pacific time, our time, to go and see the whole event. And there's stuff that you guys, new thing, I'm not going to say more, new cool thing that you guys will get to play along with, which is going to be super fun. And this should be stuff that you're starting to see in other future episodes of Intel Live and stuff like that as well. So very, very excited about that.
Definitely, we'll be talking a lot more in future episodes. And hey, it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be great.
It'll be great. We will miss you very much, though, Alex. We will miss you very,
I will
very
miss
much.
you guys too. But yeah, the reason I won't be there is because there's this mythical thing called vacation.
It's so mythical.
Yes, I'm trying to figure it out if it does exist or not. So I'm gonna go try it. I'm in the quest for the vacation.
He's in the quest for vacation, guys. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so before we jump into anything and talk a little bit about this incredible laptop, I feel like now, given we're gonna start our overviews and just our deep dives into different laptops that are powered by Lunar Lake. Do you want to talk about Intel Core Ultra Series 2 and the architecture and all that stuff, Alex? Why don't you take it away, my man?
All right, so at the beginning, we had electrons and neutrons and protons. And I'm kidding. I'm not gonna take it that deep.
Wow. We were going to get a deep dive on the Big Bang and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but no,
yeah.
Let's start a little bit further along. We still got to play some. We still got to play some Thrones and Liberty there, Alex.
Yes. Okay. So Lunar Lake. So kind of from the top to the bottom. So Lunar Lake is a processor. Well, first of all, Lunar Lake is actually a code name for it, but it's called the Intel Core Ultra Series 2 processor with a V at the end to make sure that you know that the V stands for the Lunar Lake architecture. This processor was designed for, as you have seen, the last episode, and we're going to probably take a quite closer look at this episode. Robin, you can correct me if I'm wrong. For laptops that are small, thin, and light, but still packs a big punch. Lunar Lake. One of the cool things about Lunar Lake is that actually it has the memory on top of the. Oh wait, it's here somewhere. I was playing with it a minute ago. I put it somewhere.
I like how you're going there. And that's the thing that's so crazy, right? Is like as he talks about the architecture, he's not kidding about the thin and light part. What Intel really tried to do here was put so much packed on the thing that he is literally playing with. Thank you for, is that not a humble flex, Sarah? When he sits there and says, I was just playing with that. With his nice little humble flex. They have packed so much stuff onto the SoC here that it allows for some incredibly cool form factors, and just some of them we're going to show off today. And I'm even more excited about the stuff that may come further down the line, because your RAM's on there, your Bluetooth's on there, your Wi-Fi's on there. It's all on there. So I'm stealing some of your thunder, Alex. I'll let you get.
It's okay. It's all good.
Go
Don't worry. No, it's a tag team. We're wrestles. So what you can see here is like eyes, a big nose, and a smile. So the eyes is the RAM, which is on package, actually on top of that processor. So everything's to get packaged tightly. And the big nose is actually the processor. So the cool thing about having the RAM right so close to the processor, or pretty much on the, well, not literally on the processor, but right next to it, is two things. One, you conserve a lot of power because you don't have to send a signal so long across the motherboard. And two, because you're so closer, you can actually go to faster speeds when it comes to RAM. So that is pretty neat. The other cool thing about Lunar Lake is actually all of them, Core i5 through Core i7, come with 4 P-cores and 4 E-cores. So whatever you want, you're going to get that. Just make sure I say this correctly. Yes, so from i5 to i7, you have 2 flavors. And the 2 flavors are related to the memory, to the RAM memory. So you're going to have a 16 gigabytes and a 32 gigabytes. The idea for this processor, it was to pack a punch while sipping energy. So pretty much performance per power. It's been redesigned completely. It's a completely new architecture. You also have ARC built-in graphics in there with the new Xe2 cores, which are going to be on this product. And there's going to be another product called BattleMage, which is our ARC discrete cards coming later in the future, or the trademark soon. So that also is in there. And of course, we have the neural processing unit. We can't go without saying AI, right? AI is mandatory. So the neural processing unit is one of the engines that actually helps through all the different workloads that we have in machine learning and AI, or all these applications that use machine learning models to do what you want to do. So for like you guys know, for example, ChatGPT, but there are other examples. For example, like so for example, the VCam for XSplit to do the background removal. In order to do the background removal, before it was done, I think it was on the GPU, but now it actually can take that workload and do it in the NPU. So there's a lot of new workloads coming up, and this is why this engine is going to become very useful, because now you get to use the GPU and the CPU for the workloads that you really want to, for like gaming and other stuff, and just let the NPU do sort of the other stuff of the work without taking away the performance from the other two. So this is it's a great product. Very excited. Trying to keep it light so I don't geek out too much. Let me check out here the list. Oh yes, so you have with this guy you have AV1 encode decode. You just also have your HAVCs, and you have the new VVC decode for you guys who, for all of us who stream a lot of video. Yes, Vipid is the NPU is way more power efficient. It has even more cores in it, so the NPU is more powerful than we have seen in previous generations. The P-Core P-Core and E-Cores have been redesigned. And this one, we don't have hyper-threading. The P-Cores don't have hyper-threading because we wanted to do that performance per power, but still does really good when it comes to performance without the hyper-threading. Let's see what it is. I think that's what we have on that. Let me think here. And looking at my list of topics.
You're just making sure he gets it all in there.
Yeah. So we have redesigned the power microcontroller. Yeah, I don't know if I want to get into that level of details, but yes, we have designed pretty much all the power delivery to make it more efficient. And as Roy was saying, depending on which laptop maker you're looking at, you can see between 20 hours to 24 hours or more, depending on the workload. So it's a power saving, and it's one of those laptops, because I was even seeing that on the previous one on Meteor Lake, like that battery seems like it just lasts forever. And I'm always freaking out because my old laptop, I have to like run around from room to room, trying to figure out where I'm going to plug it in. But this one's just like, I leave it in my backpack for days, and I bring it up and turn it on. It's like, oh, it still has some juice left. So it's pretty awesome. So pretty excited about Lunar Lake. Can't wait to get my hands on it and really play with it. I'm a little envious of Robbie, but I know Robbie is gonna do a great job and giving us all the download and everything on that.
Thank you very much, Alex. So now that Alex has given you a good coverage of like what Lunar Lake is, what we're gonna start, you guys are gonna start seeing here on the Intel Live Show is us talking about individual systems themselves. And what I have here is the Asus Zenbook S14. This is the Lunar Lake edition. All in all, like just cheat sheet, like overall specs and stuff like this. When you think about it at a high level, part right here is that number one, first thing is it weighs 2.7 pounds. It's using an Intel Core Ultra 7 258. In fact, we got the parts list right here. So here's a parts list right here, just to sit there and bring it up here so you guys can see a little bit more about it. We got a 14-inch 2880 by 1800 120 hertz screen. It's using the Intel Arc XE2 or Battlemage graphics platform. It has 16 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM. Sorry, my bad. We got a 1 terabyte SSD, and then you can see some of the ports. Now, there are other versions of this that obviously have 32 gigs as well. Again, one of the things that you guys need to know about Lunar Lake specifically is he's showing you up at the top when he was talking about the two eyes, is that there's a 16 gig and a 32 gig. And again, unlike what you're used to with some more like powerful gaming laptops, on these ones specifically, all of the RAM is integrated in, and that way it can make it very fast. It's got a 72 watt-hour battery, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.4, and like I said, it weighs just at 2.7 pounds. So if you think about other competitors, it's just around the same weight as a lot of those, but it's got an OLED screen and all that sort of stuff. Now, the one thing to kind of think about for this particular laptop, and when you think about the Zenbook S14, is Asus is all about having premium look and feel, and you can kind of see that here just by what they call it's called chromium. So they've created their own stuff. It's like a aluminum and chrome mix that they mix together. The one thing that's actually really nice is it's does a good job of not having fingerprints. You can see in general, it's very, very light. Now for connectivity standpoint, you've got 2 Thunderbolt 4, 1 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A port. You got HDMI 2.1 and 1 3.5mm audio jack. So both of these are Thunderbolt 4 parts. And then you also have the Thunderbolt 4 port is also how it charges. And so charging on it is, as long as you can charge it on either one of the ports, you don't have to worry about that. And then there's your HDMI 2.1. So this is for the business individual or the productivity person who likes to basically be able to kind of do everything. And I think that's the thing that gets me so excited about these particular laptops is that we've done use Puget Bench for Premiere and for Photoshop. So in other words, you can do video editing on this, you can do Photoshop on this, you can do productivity on this, you can do gaming on this, and it does all of those things fairly well, right? Like in terms of, it is a jack of all trades in terms of its overall, what it can do from a gaming standpoint. Now, the other thing that's actually really, really cool about this laptop as well is the beautiful, beautiful OLED screen. And the fact that this is Intel Evo means that, and I think you guys saw it a little bit, is that you can, with the moment that you open it, when I'm trying to do it one hand, there you go. The moment you open it, look how quickly it turns on, right? So you get that very quick turn on. That also means that it has specific rules around what the quality of the camera is. So it's got AI support around the camera, all that sort of stuff. And on top of that, the other thing that's actually really cool about Intel Evo is things like how long the battery has to last, and on top of that, touchpad sensitivity, quality of the speakers, Wi-Fi connectivity. So when you buy something that says, and I'll show you here on the top down here, you can actually see right here, it says Intel Core Ultra 7, and then right there, if I zoom in, you can see that it says Intel Evo. So that Evo is essentially saying that means that this is an Intel Evo certified Intel Evo certified Core Ultra Series 2 laptop. Now, the other thing that I thought was actually super neat about this particular laptop is that they also added a bunch of stuff Asus did on the touchpad, and I left a sticker on here. So when we go to the top down here, I left the sticker on here. You can do things on the sides, like for instance, touching here actually changes the brightness of the screen. You guys can see that a little bit. So you have brightness there, you have volume that's also on the touch side as well. And then also for video editing and stuff like that, you can actually use this to scrub through Premiere and all that sort of stuff, and scrub through YouTube. So you have media controls right along the top, as well as just the regular, touchpad. And then the other thing too that's neat about the S is that the S14 is actually a touch screen. And my wife has actually drawn on this using their pen, and the pen quality and the touch quality of this. So if you're an artist or a digital artist, again, being able to throw something like this that weighs just at 2 pounds, basically flip it up, throw it in your backpack, and not have to worry about it. We're talking about battery life. When we did our battery tests, like for our rough productivity stuff, was around 14 hours. So that's 14 hours, Alex, that we get to spend. That is
crazy.
Basically, and that's like 14 hours of like, when we did like my real world testing thing, which was just kind of carrying around and using it, I played Cat's Quest 3 for about an hour and a half. I then basically went and wrote some emails and all that sort of stuff. And I was still getting north of 10 to 12 hours and really kind of pushing this thing. So very, very impressive piece of equipment. And then again, it's $14.99. So this is definitely on the higher end in terms of when you think about the Lunar Lake laptops. Like I said, you're paying kind of for the form factor and all of the bells and whistles that come with this one. There are definitely other ones that are the same size, just as light, but just kind of, where they've done is instead of having something that, looks really, really flashy, kind of tone that stuff down that you can really save some money. So still sub $1,500. And then this can do a lot in terms of, it can pretty much do anything. And because of things like XeSS and all that sort of stuff, you can do stuff like Assassin's Creed Mirage, all that sort of stuff at medium settings as well. So very, very impressive piece of tech, and definitely worth. I hope you get your hands on it, because I can't believe it.
No, that was awesome. I was playing with that one on Monday. That's the one I was like, ooh, has touchscreen. One of the things that I was really impressed with this, guys, it was interesting for you guys who have been watching the Intel Technology channel, the product manager when they were starting the development of this processor, she came down pretty convincingly on the engineer, saying like, I want this laptop, to be a laptop. So meaning that I actually put it on my lap.
Oh, that's right. It's not warm. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is not that warm. And actually this one is, yeah, it is that. It is really nice.
And that's the thing is all of it, like all of this is on ridiculously low wattage, which is why like in a 72 watt hour battery, you're getting that kind of performance. And then the other thing too is because of how the team at Asus did this, like it does a really great job of dissipating heat, but also this thing is kind of a giant heat sink as well. So like all in all, it distributes the heat. So you can use this on your lap and not have to worry about it. And I literally, like I was using not this one, but I was using the MSI Prestige on a pillow watching Top Gun because the speakers, man, Asus has been killing it with their speakers lately. The speakers on this thing sound awesome. Yeah. So watching movies on this and like just being able to kind of carry it around, that's the thing. It's just so light. I mean, that's what blows my mind about this thing is how much power you have for such a light piece of gear. So, I don't know. What do you think, Sarah?
Sorry, guys. I lost internet in the middle of this thing.
Oh.
So I've been a bit of a scramble. I think these are amazing systems. The fact that you can do all of that for 2.5 pounds. These designs are absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very impressive piece of hardware. Guys, we're finishing up our full review on it. So what we did is the things that I'm telling you guys about now is just, we're like, let's throw Premiere Pro at it. Done. Let's throw Blackmagic. And honestly, I will say DaVinci with XE2, especially as a video editor, it loves some art graphics, right? So DaVinci Resolve is really, really great on this device. The other one that's also really good is then again, you just think about the potential of like the fact that like, man, I'm like you're playing games like your favorite, like Dave the Diver. And you have to be smart about the games you run on this, but like your Hades, your Dave the Divers, your Cat's Quest 3, and then a lot of the games that you guys have really kind of been built around art graphics specifically, but on an OLED screen with those speakers, and again because it doesn't have a lot of wattage, it's silent. You're literally just getting to explore the game and not have anything get in the way. And then the other thing too is because of Wi-Fi 7, which I'm sorry guys, like a little bit of a humble flex, but we have Wi-Fi 7 at home. Game streaming is like next level. So if I want to play Cyberpunk 2077 on my 14900K using Steam to stream to my Zenbook and be able to be anywhere in the house on a Wi-Fi 7 is actually really, really rad. So guys, it's a really cool device. I feel like a hype man, but I'm actually genuinely hyped about it.
Yeah, I mean, you and I were very hyped. Like this new generation, and like you said, and it would sound like, anyways, this new generation of ultra core processors, which started with Meteor Lake, and you and I did like the first video we did was a year ago.
Yep.
At Newegg with the MSI
Prestige. Yeah, this one right here.
Yeah, exactly. And we were like, oh my god, this is awesome. And now we get to see the Lunar Lake, and we're like, what is going on here? This is even better. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, this is awesome. We do work for technology, but this is like blowing our minds. But
now, Raxus, you said, are you streaming? I'm streaming game streaming, so you can game stream on Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi 7, guys, is next level tech. It's expensive right now. Let's just be honest. It's expensive, but if you have it, Wi-Fi 7, its connectivity, because of basically how it does its dual banding and all that sort of stuff, guys, it is crazy how good Wi-Fi 7 is. The price needs to come down. That's just the truth. But all of these things, I mean, that's the thing that Lunar Lake has access to all that stuff. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, game streaming. Yeah. So Wi-Fi 7 we can, maybe that's something we'll get to at some point in time. We can talk a little bit more about Wi-Fi 7, but yes, Wi-Fi 7 just from a coverage standpoint and an ease of use standpoint, even with places with thicker walls and all that sort of stuff, Wi-Fi 7 is just better. So take a look at there's some really great papers on it. I don't want to spend a ton of time on it today, but for sure, it's pretty cool.
And they're white papers.
Oh, sorry. That's called Microsoft. I'm working at Microsoft for 20 years. And you're like, oh yeah, go read the white paper on it. And no, don't go read the white paper. Go find a really good video from your favorite tech tuber and watch a video on that. Don't read a white paper. I like reading white papers.
I like reading white papers too, but then again, you and I are a little different.
So
right.
Solixer is asking, say, hey, I just wish Best Buy had Lunar Lake laptops in stock without having to order. Also, when are the LG, MSI, and Acer ones coming? Guys, all of that stuff is starting to show up now, right, Alex?
They're also supposed to be they're supposed to be getting out there. I get to see the MSI. Well, you got the MSI, and I got to see the LG too. The LG was very impressive. It's exactly under a kilogram. It was so thin. Those, and the other one that I saw that was also pretty cool. It was more of a whole vertical integration. It was the Samsung one that you're getting. I heard you say that you're getting here pretty soon.
Yep.
So for those of us who are weird and have Android phones here in the U.S., you can actually completely integrate that with the Samsung laptop and the tablet. And actually, we have a cool video, a short video on Intel technology there for the Samsung, and it shows you how everything comes together, and it's pretty neat. So it's awesome.
And that's the thing, right? Is like, it's just like, again, I feel like it's been a while, but this feels like a true evolution and even revolution in terms of laptops. And the cool thing is that when you used to say, I have a thin and light laptop, and this was, I'd say even 5 years ago, you'd say, I have a thin and light laptop. You knew that the only thing that was good at was watching YouTube, doing Outlook, doing email, and that was kind of about it. Maybe sure you could run League of Legends, but League of Legends runs on a toaster, right? But that was kind of the limit of where it was. And now with modern day laptops, the speed of connectivity and all that sort of stuff, it is incredible what you can actually do with such a thin and light device, both basically just locally, and even over the cloud and stuff like that now, right? So, which it's funny, I forgot, Alex. We got to talk about this AI playground thing, which we have on here too.
Well, while you bring it up, I can tell about it. So AI Playground is software. It is developed by Intel, and the idea behind it is for those of you who haven't or are a little too scared or don't know how to start playing with all the different machine learning or AI models that are out there, you can actually use AI Playground to do this. And what can you do with it? So you can actually go just like everything else. You put a prompt, you can generate a picture, or if you already have a picture, you can actually change it, improve it, do all the different changes. Or you can also play with large language models, LLMs, to do different things. To tell you a story, to write you an essay that you should be writing on your own for your school, or things like that. The really cool thing about that is that you are not limited to one model. So you can actually have different types of models. Go explore all the models that are being created for the different language models, because there's more than one. The different generative AI models that are out there. So you can actually go and choose all the stuff. Actually, you can also, one that is really cool that you should play with is called RAG. And what RAG does is it allows you to use private documents, libraries within your system and keep it like that, but still use a large language model. One example I can give you. Let's say that a hypothetical technology company is going to be launching a processor, and it has all this technology details, speeds and feeds, but it doesn't want them to be out in the public because it hasn't launched yet. So if you can actually have those local in your laptop and use this model and tell it to go create me a product brief for this new product that we're launching, and it will go create it. The good thing is, like, all that information is not in the cloud, it's local, but it's using those models to create that product brief and saving a lot of time and sweat and tears for some of those marketing people.
And the other thing too is some of this stuff, guys, for instance, right? The thing that actually gets more interesting when you talk about AI locally, and really what you're kind of seeing here is, think of AI as, it was like in 3 stages. And stage 1 was literally just around basically learning what you could actually teach. So it was all about machine learning and all that sort of stuff. The second part of this has been about generative and basically creating modeling. So it was like you went from what is essentially machine learning, teaching the machines what they could do. Then it was about modeling and generating. And then now the last stage, the stage that everybody's getting excited about and where all the hype is around AI, is on the agentization of AI. This is AI that helps you do things for real. And a lot of what we've seen right now is we've had like these portals into looking at AI and being like, oh, cool, I can generate images, or oh, cool, I can ask it questions. Where Microsoft, bless their soul and all these other ones, but where Microsoft and now Asus and a lot of these people are doing is they're building things that think of them as self-contained AI agents. And these things do things that help you, for instance, and one example might be like, you're literally handling, you want to run locally all of your bank data and investment data. And you basically, based on your history and your specific, what's the word I'm looking for? Your boundaries, like how willing you are to be risky and stuff like that. You can use these specific models that are locally run, not connected to the internet, so nobody's stealing your data, hacking your data, but then have it make recommendations based on what you're confident with or how you are as an investor to go and figure out what you may invest in. Or, for instance, it can also be something where it looks at how holistically you write your emails, and then you have to write a very, very difficult email to your boss because A, you might have messed up a project or you're behind or whatever it was, and it can help you curate that in a way that based on your boss's responses and then what like how you write to create a mail that might actually do a better job. That's what an agent is. A lot of people are saying stuff like they're afraid of AI because AI becomes the sentient thing. No, AI is really, think of it as creating agents that are self-contained, and where you want that protected data is the stuff that this is kind of showing you at a low level. So I think, does that help? What do you think, Alex? Does that do a pretty good job, or?
Yeah, no, that's good. There's a lot of, I mean, I completely understand the fear of all the stuff that's going on. And the other thing that I was talking earlier this week with some friends is like AI has been with us for a long time.
Yeah, it has.
So for example, if you start to things like AI also kind of one of the early stages of it was a lot of image recognition, video recognition, and a lot of the original papers, and going back to white papers that were written for image recognition started like in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And also all the models that today are the most, not famous, but the most popular. The word is popular. The most popular model that is being used today are transformers, and the white papers for that were written back in 2017. Actually, if the AI as we know it, like neural networks, started in 2012, so it's been there for a while. So, but it just is starting to get. We're starting to see how it's being grown and how it's actually affecting all of us in different ways. How it's going to change our lives. So, one way to think about AI today is to think about how the internet was back in 2000 or 1999. It was like, oh my God, this is amazing, but we don't know how it's going to change our lives.
Yep.
And I was thinking about this yesterday. Is like, how did the internet change my life? It changed my life in many ways, but one of the things that it changed my life, and to stay in sync with your banking analogy, is a lot of us don't know, unless we had parents, of what it means to balance a checkbook. So we don't have to balance a checkbook because we have instant access to our account, our bank account. And balancing a checkbook, I remember seeing my parents, it was like a everyday kind of thing, task that it was painful. And you're gonna be, and it was not fun. And that's one of the ways how the internet changed our lives. So we can only wait and see how AI is gonna change our lives.
Yep.
So it's in the early stages. And so we'll see what happens from there. There's a lot of potential to see where we go.
So there you go. And so a couple things. Again, we could talk about AI for a long time, but again, one of the things is just to go in there is like, and I've got a couple examples here, and then we'll jump into some actual gaming. But here, for instance, this is like, I was like, you can do stuff like this. Explain Wi-Fi 7 to me like I'm an 8-year-old. Okay, kiddo. So Wi-Fi 7 is like a super fast and super smart way for our devices like iPads, iPhones, computers to send and receive information with each other, kind of like talking and sharing photos without using any wires. Imagine your school's internet as a playground. With Wi-Fi 7, this playground can handle more kids at once. Each one can play their favorite video games or watch TV shows faster than before. It's like getting more toys on the playground at the same time without it getting crowded. Look at that, see? And that's the cool thing. It's like, so you can play with this, and like you said, you can download different models. Here's a PC. I'm playing with generative AI here with PC building on Mars. By the way, this looks really good, Alex. Look at this system.
Like it.
I kind of want to build this. I want to send this to over to Blue Horse Studio and be like, hey, can we build this case? Because actually that came out super cool.
That looks pretty sweet.
So download it. There's a bunch of different ones that you can take a look at. The one that you're seeing right here, this is actually running on the Asus Zenbook S14. This is using the Lunar Lake version, the Core Ultra Series 200V version of AI Playground. And there's a lot to kind of play with and actually even get used to. And this is something you can download and play with now. If you haven't gotten into AI, this is a great way to kind of get your feet wet, wouldn't you say, Alex?
Yes, I agree. So this is a great thing. Actually, I've been playing a little bit more than I had some time, so some spare time, in my hands. So yes, I definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
So there we go. Well, I think without much further ado, Alex, I'm going to let you go and start your transformation process, and then why don't we bring in our special guest? Let's go make sure that he's ready and willing. Let me go pop him in here. I'm going to look at the screen here. Oh no, he's not there yet. But yeah, you can go away, Alex. Okay.
I'll go away.
Okay, so you're up. Okay, good. Oh, he's if you can turn on your camera real quick. There we go. I can hear Tycho. Tico, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just can't see you yet.
I turned on my camera.
Oh, weird.
I can see him.
You can see him?
I think you're on Alex's box.
Okay. I cannot see him, so we'll have to go with. So we can hear you though, Tico. For some reason, can you rejoin? Jump out and rejoin, and then we'll be good. Yeah, real quick. Sorry about that, guys. Looks like every once in a while we get a weird, honest little technical thing. Let me jump over to the game stuff though, and get this game going here. So we got it.
So when we
There we go. We're good now. Okay. What's up, Tico?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to see you.
Good to be here.
And then we're just gonna fix you real quick here. Okay, cool. It's good to have you here, and it's awesome. There you are. So, Tico, for folks who don't know you, right? Very, very excited about having you here. Obviously, we've done some introductions and stuff already, but to give us a little intro on who you are and why you're here today.
Sure. Yeah, my name's Daniel, or my developer name is Tico. I work for Amazon Games, specifically on Throne and Liberty. I'm the globalization design manager, which is just a fancy way to say that I basically work closely with NCSoft to make sure that we are bringing systems into the game that will appeal to kind of the audience in our region. And so I work with them often about all things Throne and Liberty. And yeah, I'm just here to hopefully answer a lot of your questions and talk about some of the cool things of Throne and Liberty.
So let's talk a little bit about Throne and Liberty. So tell us a little bit about the history of this game, how it came about, like where did this all kind of come from, and then give us a little bit of like the backstory from the beginning.
Yeah, so I mean, NCSoft has a pretty deep pedigree, I would say, of MMOs. Lineage, Ion, Blade and Soul, Guild Wars, so they have a really strong pedigree there, and this is just another great MMO that they have put out, and we're happy to be publishing it. The game itself, the story behind the game, or the story as you enter the game, I should say, is basically it takes place in the world of Silesium. So there are these world fragments that came from a shattered seal stone that was containing someone known as Silivith, who was the goddess of destruction. And these kind of fragments were scattered around the world like stars. And some people were being born with these powers, and they're being kind of referred to as the Starborn. And so that's what your character is when you start the game. And then kind of the evil side of that is there is a commander known as Khazar, who's running the Archeum Legions, and they're trying to hunt these Starborn and take the power for themselves. So when you join the game, you are a Starborn, and you're basically trying to progress, learn about your powers, enhance your power, and save Silesium.
Okay, So like the whole thing is we're watching the intro here. One of the things that I thought was absolutely insane about this game was just the sheer amount of customization. So when when you think about that, when you think about some of the other MMOs, you may have like a few things to change, but you can change so much in this game. Tell us a little bit about what that was like when you came in and they're like, hey, we want to make it so you can pretty much make any human or non-human on the planet. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, the customization, I would say, for characters is really deep. It's almost hard to explain how deep it is. I think we're going to start with that here maybe in a little bit, and we'll see it once we get through this trailer. But the customization is so deep, you can make so many changes to it. I'm not an expert in those areas, to be honest, in terms of how to actually make your character look good. I sadly have to rely on the designer presets or kind of the random appearances. But I've seen some pretty crazy stuff already, some really impressive stuff. So I think when we get into it, we're going to show it off really well. And that kind of customization, I would say, bleeds over into the game as well. It's something that we really value, I would say, for this game, is that every player can customize their build, their approach to the game, their style for combat. All of this is really heavily customizable for each player. And so we're really excited about that, and I think we'll probably talk about that some more when we get into the game, and some of that customization that you can do with your weapons and your skills and stuff like that. So it starts at character creation and really goes on for the rest of the game.
So so I did a male one. So let's go ahead and jump. We'll do a female character here, so we can just take a little look at this. But guys, you guys are going to be blown away at just how much stuff that you can actually change here. So it starts up and you figure like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. But then you go to appearance settings. And I mean, you're like, oh, I think this is kind of more like what you kind of expect, right, Tico? It's like you can kind of just choose face shapes, you know what I mean? But then you go here, and it's like, guys, I kid you not, right? Like, it is, that's just the eyes, Tico. I mean, look at all the stuff that you can do.
Yeah, it's a lot. We've had some players that start the game, get here and don't get out of here for a couple hours because they're doing so much customization. So it's really pretty incredible to see some of the stuff that people create. It's really exciting, actually. If you're somebody that really likes to have either a unique character that you have in your mind, or someone that really likes to tailor their character to look like yourself, you have so many options for that.
And then the other thing too is I'm just curious, do you know if these tools match what a lot of, it seems like a lot of this is like when I've seen even some of the characters, for instance, like I was questing yesterday and there was this girl who was blind and she had a pink eye and a yellow eye, and she had painted a picture, right? And I keep thinking like, hey, that's something I can do in the character creator. Like it felt like you have all of kind of the same options that the artist had to help create your character in a lot of ways too, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, if you wander around, I mean, not all the NPCs, I would say, are kind of humans. Everything that you have here is actually humans. But when you wander around, you see the NPCs, I don't really see anything in them that you couldn't create here. And I think when you just kind of look around the world, right, everybody has this different appearance, different approach, different things to them. And we want to give as many tools as possible so that people can really be set in with whatever fantasy they're looking to do when they play the game. So the more we can provide, the better from that side.
Yeah, like even stuff like this, I can actually individually choose what color the eye is, right?
Yeah.
And then you can like it's crazy, right? And like here, by the way, I made my character here so she can see in 3D naturally. Because I don't know if you know this, but we're not seeing in 3D unless our vision's blue and red, right? Yeah. No, that's not true. So yeah, no, it's just crazy like this. And then again, like guys, it goes everywhere. Like ear size, nose, details. You can change like look at this. I mean, like there's just so much stuff. And then again, you from there you can even start playing with eyeliner, cheek makeup, and then it even gets more crazy because then from there you also have like your outfits that you can change. And these, like, tell us a little bit about the outfits because there you have the armor pieces you can collect, but then you can also like you almost have like a transmog where you can make a character always look one way or not, right?
Yeah, so these armors this is basically like your starting outfit that you'll have when you enter the game, and then as you collect armor pieces, it will replace these outfits that you see here. And then you can sort of choose to keep showing your armor, or if you buy any of the cosmetics in the shop, like some of the outfits that are available there, You can transform the way your character looks, and there's lots of customization there as well. We have different colors that you can choose, the full RGB wheel. We have different styles and patterns that you can apply to it. You can show all of it. You can hide some parts of it. So maybe when we get in game, we can show off some of that as well. But yeah, I mean, that kind of, as we mentioned, that customization, we really try to extend it throughout all areas of the game because we know everybody likes to do things a little bit differently.
Well, let's jump into the game and talk a little bit, because this game is incredibly deep. So I'm going to jump in here and go in there. And what I'd love to do is just spend a little time talking about it. So here I am. My character is level 20, which was the homework you gave me, just so you know. I don't know. Do I get, like, Tika, when do I get my grade and my special graduation gift? Right? Is that in the mail, or?
It's in the mail already, yeah, for you. Yeah, it's snail mail though, so it's gonna take a little bit of time to get there. But
so he's like, please lose my contact information between now and then, so you have nobody to reach out to. Okay, so let's jump into this, because this mini right here, the F11, this is like your hub for everything Throne and Liberty, and you have your character info, your skills, your codex. But this game doesn't work like you typically do as you level up. You have weapon arts, and you have magic skills, and you can level individual weapons. Tell us about how you build classes in Throne and Liberties, because it's not like what somebody who traditionally think of playing games like World of Warcraft or EverQuest. Some of these more classic RPGs or MMOs.
Yeah. So I would say your class is really more determined by what weapons you have equipped. So something unique about Throne and Liberty, you can wear 2 different weapons at the same time. So, for example, I see your character looks like he's wearing greatsword and staff.
Yep.
And so you can wear 2 different weapons at the same time, and those weapons determine what skills you have available to you. So they're kind of a proxy for your class. So if you're wearing staff and sword, then you will have different abilities available than somebody who's wearing staff and daggers, for example, or staff and wand. And so you're able to really choose your class based on what you're wearing. We think that's really great because it gives you flexibility to have more than one type of class or fantasy that you're playing throughout your time. If you like to play a tank most of the time, you want to play sword and shield, greatsword, that's great. But if sometimes you want to switch over to DPS, no problem. You can play greatsword and daggers if you want, or something like that. So it gives a lot of flexibility for players to be able to move back and forth. And so that's something that we really enjoy about the system. And it also creates tons of different play styles, right? So 2 people wearing greatsword won't play the same way, because as you see, you're playing with staff. I might be playing with daggers or with a longbow or something else, and so our play styles are going to be pretty different because of that.
So, and then I've noticed, like, as I was playing, I was like, okay, so I was playing broadsword and I was playing staff, right? Which magic is the staff one, and then you have wand as well. Which again is when you think about breaking down all the weapons, it looks like you have staff, you have great sword, you have forgotten sword, you got daggers, crossbows, longbows, and then you also have the wand, the forgotten wand. Is one, like, do they align with more traditional RPG classes? You know what I mean? Like your healer or whatever it was, or like, is it really just you kind of mix and match?
Yes and no.
Okay.
In the sense of, staffs are magical, of course, abilities. So lots of lightning abilities, fire abilities. Great swords are a lot of melee type of abilities, large blows, large swords that you're wielding. So there is some still kind of a respect towards the classical archetypes. But where I would say it changes is that you can be wielding staff, but always be playing close quarters if you're holding a greatsword as well, right? You might always be in melee range, but still using your staff abilities to kind of augment how you're playing. And so while the individual weapons kind of have these archetypes, when you combine them, they're very different. I would say probably the only 2 exceptions to that is the sword and shield, which is primarily the weapon that you would use if you're trying to fulfill the tank role. And then the wand, which is also the same thing, kind of primarily one of the weapons that you would wield if you're trying to fulfill the healer role.
Okay. So so for your traditional tank, which are kind of your core roles in usually dungeons or raids and stuff like that, your tank is kind of like your sword and shield, and your healer, they will have to have a wand to kind of do the healer class then. How does this side, the strength, dexterity, wisdom, and perception, because these are like, this is where I got a little bit, it's like, if I'm gonna do melee damage, do I put everything in strength? Is daggers dexterity? Is magic wisdom? And then what is perception like? So tell us a little bit about how this interplays with your weapon system.
Yeah, so first of all of these will increase your damage.
Okay.
So, we didn't want players to feel like, oh, well, I'm wearing sword, so I have to put it into strength. That's not really the case. They all are going to increase damage, but what they will do is increase different additional stats differently. So strength is going to give you health, wisdom is going to give you mana and mana regen. So they're all a little bit different, but that doesn't necessarily dictate what you want to do. It depends on your build. I'll give you an example. For my personal character, I like to run a build that's reliant on critical hit. So I'm going to put a lot of points into dexterity because dexterity grants me critical hit chance. But
Got it.
if you're not a class running critical hit, you won't put it into dexterity. You might put it into perception or wisdom. So it depends a little bit on what type of playstyle you're going for. And that's where I keep saying every build is going to be slightly different. We could both be playing staff and greatsword, but our stats that we're going for the style, the type of damage we want to do, that's going to vary over time too.
And then it says here, I've been afraid to, because I've always had like that fear of like it's going to cost me a lot. Can I reset my stats at any time?
Yeah, it's free. You can reset any time, and we have these. If you see in the bottom middle of your character, there's these equipment and stat sets. And if you change that, if you go to the right, it's actually a brand new set, and you can have different stat points tied to it. So it's just a way to make it easier to play those different play styles. Let's say you're going to do some PvP content. You might want a lot more evasion gear. So maybe you switch to your evasion gear at that time. And when you're in PvE, maybe you care more about mana regen because you want to be able to spam abilities more. So you can really tailor it for each one of these sets and then flip back and forth really easily so that you can just kind of jump into whatever encounter you want.
That's really cool. I did not. So again, you pretty much have like up to 3 builds that you can run and easily switch to whenever you want.
That's right.
Cool.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, awesome. And okay, so the last thing I wanted to just talk about a little bit before we got too far is then the other super important part of this is actually your skills. So these are attached to the weapons that you actually have. And I'm in the wrong specialization right now, so let me switch over to the one that I'm actually used to. So tell us a little bit about how people should think about what using your skills. So here's my skill sets. You can see that I'm using that great sword, and then I've got my staff. I've started. How do I like do? Am I really free, and can I reset these the same way, or like, you know what I mean? Like I get afraid when I have to spend things, and I'm like, am I spending them in the right place?
Yeah. So the way I would describe, well, a couple things. One is you can swap the power from one skill to another skill. So let's say you've leveled one skill to, like I see here, you have one of your abilities that's like green level 5, the top left ability.
Yep.
If you realize, hey, I don't really like this ability, I wish it was somewhere else, or maybe you decide to play a new weapon, there are items called skill conversion books that will let you transfer the full power of that skill into a new skill so that you don't have to re-level the other skill from scratch.
Got it.
You can earn those a few ways, but in the leveling journey, you're actually going to gain like 24 of those. So we give you enough freedom that when you're leveling, you have kind of an opportunity to test stuff out. If you don't like it, you won't be stuck. We're going to give you the skill conversion books throughout the leveling journey that you could swap 2 full weapons over if you wanted to. So it's really freeing in that point of view. And I would say really it's until you get to the pretty late game where you're grinding a lot more for kind of that last bit of power, it's not too difficult to switch. We've had several people internally start playing. They get to level 50 and they decide, I'd rather do something different. They switch and within a couple days, they're kind of back at where they need to be.
At where they were. Cool. And then the other thing too is then also even within this, so you have your weapon skill, guys, but this is where it gets even more bonkers. Inside of your weapon skills, then you have skill specialization. And you can say that each one of these has their own tree. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this was a semi-recent addition to the game, and this is where our customization for builds, I would say, really exploded. So the skill specialization points you get on the bottom left, those are awarded just as you level up. You don't have to do anything special for them. And just like with stats, you can reset these anytime. And just like with your gear, you can also have, you see there's 3 quick slots. So you can also have up to 3 different builds. So for example, myself, my main character, I typically play healer. So I have a healing build for PvP, I have a healing build for dungeons, and I have a healing build for kind of our large scale open world events. because they kind of require different things. You have different skill specializations and setups for that. And so that's where skill specialization really shines. It can do things like fully transform an ability from a single target heal to an AoE heal, or it can change an ability from fire damage to frost damage if what you want it to do is slow people. So there's a lot of interesting and unique things that you can do based on your playstyle.
And then the last thing that I think, I know with some people, let's talk a little bit about these. Is it Amatoi? These dudes. So what are these? These are kind of like your pets, and then you guys can send them out on special missions, and they can do all sorts. So this is like, guys, I'm just giving you an idea of like, you guys thought that this was just like there's so much to do in this game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hold on, real
that's
quick,
I would say is a strength
Tico.
that's running-
Hold on, sorry,
wow.
real quick. Let's just, can you see Alex?
Wow, I like your sword though. Yeah, that's nice.
He's
I need
ready
a
to
full-
play.
Yeah, we need a full screen of that. Dang.
I think he's been sweating for a little while waiting for this.
You know, the funny thing is he had his mic on so we could hear you put on your breastplate, by the way.
What's funny about that sword is it kind of actually looks like the starter sword that
It
you
does,
get
right?
in Liberty. Yeah.
Okay, Alex, well, whatever you did with your mic, now I can't hear you, so just so you know.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, now I can hear you. And I don't think you can turn his head all the way, because if you can watch him.
My mail chain gets in the way.
Yeah, now you're turning like Batman, where you have to turn full body.
Now you're turning like Batman, which I think is super funny.
Yeah.
Continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
Please.
no, it's okay. No, you did actually mean to interrupt, and that's
Yeah.
okay, right? So
That's nice. I like that. Will you ship it to me? I'll ship y'all whatever it was I was supposed to give you. I don't remember.
I don't remember nothing. It was called nothing. That's what you were gonna give me. It was
You
just I
should
was just
back
trying to
the
make
great
myself
sword.
feel like I was gonna get something super special from Tico. Okay, so Tico, talk about these little characters, these Amatoi, because these guys are like, the thing that's so cool is they walk around and heal you all the time, but there's more to them than that, right?
Yeah, they do provide a little healing passive that you get throughout the game. They also pick up your loot, which is probably my favorite feature, not having to run over to get your loot. They just run over and grab that for you so you can move on to whatever is the next thing you want to do. That's definitely probably my favorite feature, but they do a few other things. Actually, if you click on Lithograph Book there, like as you collect them, you also get some bonuses, kind of incremental bonuses, I would say, not exponential, but incremental things that over time, the more of them you collect, the more bonuses you're going to get. And then actually there's a PAL synergy as well in that same tab of Lithograph Book, where if you collect certain sets of them, so certain pairs, you're going to get some additional bonus as well. So it's a really fun thing, I think, especially for people who like to do collection style content, going after and collecting all types of Amatoys and all types of, whatever else is present in the game. This is one of the fun things that we have in TL. And then the last thing that you mentioned was the Amatoy expeditions, which if you click on your Amatoy button, if you leave the main menu, and then just above your...
Yeah, I clicked on. I'm going to the house right now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so
It's like we're
in
in
here
sync.
you can basically send your Amatoy on expeditions, and then they go off and they come back with rewards for you, materials and tokens and stuff like that you can use to further progress your character.
So
and
mine
so that's
just
pretty
got
great.
back. So there he goes. He made it. He did good.
Yep. So you just got those rewards, and then you can ship off another one, send them to do your dirty work, and tell them to come back with some nice goodies for you. So really fun, just way to use all of these things. And of course, there's different designs for all of them. And we didn't associate specific power to any of them. It's more just like a collection base. So you can always have whichever one you prefer the most out and present at any time.
And this kind
And
of
if you
looks
don't
like this
like
kind of
them,
looks
you
like
can hide.
Sarah's office. Actually, I think this is what Sarah's office looks like at home. She just has all these little collectibles everywhere, right, Sarah?
It's that big too. Yeah.
I really like these things because it just shows like how much detail and effort has gone into the game's art. The more you play, I think the more you realize really how beautiful the game is, and a lot of care is taken into the art for everything. There's no part of this game, I would say, where kind of art was an afterthought or second pass. All of the world is really beautiful.
I have to say, you're not wrong. Like and the other thing too is like one of the things that's actually really neat is I'm gonna go and jump up to one of these locations here. So we'll go to the Starlight Observatory. but each one of them, as you unlock a portal, guys, that portal then does like an overview of that region, and every little bit of it has a bit of lore and all that sort of stuff is actually really, really neat. And then the other thing too that I have to say, Tico, I really enjoy is the talk a little bit about the travel forms, because you have travel forms kind of like druids in World of Warcraft, but on crack, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, so basically they're called morphs, and it's Throne and Liberty's take on kind of the traditional mount system. And so rather than you getting on a mount, you transform. Like you see right now, you're wyvern, wyvern. I don't know, I always pronounce that word wrong, but pretty awesome. And so you actually yourself transform into the animal, and that's for all of our kind of faster travel, gliding, running, and swimming. You'll transform, and so when you get a little bit more stamina here, you can retransform into your morph. And I apologize, I am watching slightly delayed screen, but it's pretty awesome because you can use that in combat as well. And so it's an actual integration to our combat, to our dungeon mechanics, and these types of things. And so it's really woven into the game. It's not just for traveling quickly. It's for repositioning in our large scale battles. It's for completing certain boss mechanics in our dungeons. And so they're really well built into the game. And just like with Amatoys, there's a whole bunch of them that you can collect. Collecting more of them gives you more benefits from them. And so it's really a nice thing that people who are kind of that collector can enjoy in the game.
And then the other thing too that was actually really cool, guys, is that the questing system, I have to say, I've had a lot of fun. Like one of the things that I got to do yesterday, and then we're actually going to jump over and let Alex show some gaming. I wanted to show a little combat for sure. But I did one where the goblins were getting ready to attack the tower. And there was like almost like a jacket, like a match the color, like a Simon Says type game. So even the game and quest mechanics, there's a lot of variety in those. And then tell us, and then each one of them, every area kind of has like a chapter and story as well. So it's like the solo component of the game is really well thought out as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so there is a main story quest. It's called the Adventure Codex in this game, and that's the purple quest on the right-hand side. That's what players will typically follow just to kind of get to max level. But as you said, every time you get to a new zone and you unlock that waypoint, you also unlock what's called the Exploration Codex for that zone, and that's where you'll be able to do content that is, I don't want to say side missions because you do use it to level up to level 50, but it's kind of just less standard type of questing. It's things like solving puzzles or engaging in kind of mini boss fights, stuff like this. And so it's a really interesting way to do that. And all of that is rewarded as well, which is nice because it's still useful even when you get to max level. You don't have to worry about that content not being valuable anymore because we put rewards in there that are still useful for you even when you're at max level. And so it's just a nice way to always have a little bit of downtime and come back to the game and do some questing.
So I got some questions from the chat.
Go ahead and ask away, and then if you want to show off your game, I can switch over to you, Mr. Alex.
Continue. I'll ask the questions. So, is there any co-op PvE? I saw there's PvP.
Yeah, there is co-op. There's lots of PvE in this game, I would say. So there is, in solo mode, we have a form called Title's Tower, which is essentially solo boss fights. It's like a tower climb, so the higher level you go, the harder it gets. And then for co-op mode, we have what we call co-op dungeons, which are the more traditional instance dungeons that you would see in most MMORPGs. These are 6-man dungeons. You go through the dungeon, you do some mini bosses along the way, and then you fight a final boss at the end of the dungeon. We've actually gotten really great feedback about these dungeons from PvE players, so definitely if you're a PvE player, jump in and play some of that content. It's going to be really fun. And then we also have these super huge open world dungeons that we call Abyss dungeons. And these are, again, I can't really describe how big some of these are. We have one that is 6 levels deep.
Wow.
And these are not instance. This is open worlds. Sometimes hundreds or thousands of players are going to be in there farming, fighting for resources, fighting for which mobs to get. World boss spawns in there as well, so there's competition for those, even though it's still kind of in PvE, as I mentioned. So it's just a huge labyrinth of, I don't know, I get lost every time I go in there, and I've been obviously playing the game probably more than anyone at this point. But
Yes, you have.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really, really huge. I can't even describe to you how huge it is, but really fun.
That's awesome. Puzzles. Is it with dungeons come puzzles or anything?
So our co-op dungeons do have, I mean, they have mechanics, like boss mechanics that you have to figure out. I wouldn't quite describe them as puzzles per se, but there are mechanics that have to be solved.
Okay. I know about this one, but you can answer. Can you play this with a controller?
You can play with a controller, and the game is cross-play, so you can play on PC with controller, or you can play on PS5 or Xbox and play with all your PC friends as well. So everything about the game is 100% cross-play. There's no piece of content that you cannot enjoy with people on different platforms.
How often or rare are drops?
Oh,
Like,
that's
do you have? Yeah.
pretty broad question, I would say. Depends on the type of drop that you're interested in. But I would say it's our goal to be generous. You know, we want players to be enjoying, to be progressing. We don't want to be gatekeeping progression just for the sake of gatekeeping progression. So we've gone through several buffs of drop rates and improvements. And in particular for our launch, we also made it easier to acquire some of that later stage gear as well. So, you know, my opinion, I think they're pretty good.
No, okay. Oh, that's awesome. Let me see what else I have here.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So for the codes that we've been giving away kind of on some of our platforms, primarily Discord and Twitch here today, can you describe a little bit about what folks can expect in some of these giveaways?
Yeah, sure. So the codes should be, keep me honest, but they are for what was our early access packs. So this game launched worldwide on October 1st, but you were able to purchase early access packs so that you could get in the game starting on September 26th. And those packs basically had a whole bunch of cosmetics in them. They're no longer for sale, so those actually stopped being for sale when we launched on October 1st. So these packs are pretty nice, pretty exclusive, I would say, at this point, because you can't actually buy these cosmetics anymore. This is one of the few chances that you'll have to earn all the cosmetics that were in that pack, which is pretty exciting. So there's several codes for that, and this is really kind of the only type of way that you can get it is through these promotions now, because they're no longer for sale.
Now there is a couple of ways that people can still earn some cool stuff in game. Can you tell us a little bit about like the Twitch drops that you guys are doing?
Yeah, for sure. We are doing Twitch drops that last, I think, for about another week and a half, roughly. And those Twitch drops are giving away, there's a morph in there, an Amatoy, player title, and then we also have this cool reward that we call ornate coins. And these are basically things that you can use in a shop within the game. They're not purchasable. You can only earn them via gameplay or via promotional kind of giveaways. And so, you know, I don't know who's playing right now, but if you open up the main menu and you go to the shop, we can show off some of the stuff. But
okay, yeah, sure.
It's a really interesting thing that
not
we
get
like.
killed.
Yeah, don't die for it.
Yeah, okay.
It's a pretty interesting thing that we like because it allows us to really give players more choice in these giveaways. You know, sometimes we feel that players all want different things in the giveaway, and so the ornate coin shop basically lets you choose, do you want progression materials or would you like cosmetics? So if you scroll down a bit on the shop here, and I'm following a slightly delayed stream, so yeah, a little bit further, yeah, right here. So you'll see it's the second to last section.
The ornate coins, yep.
Yep. So this is kind of that shop area that I was talking about. So you can see there's cosmetics available, there's player titles available. You can get the dyes and the threads that you need to kind of customize any outfits that you may be equipping. Lots of progression materials. There's lifestyle materials like fishing bait. So really a wide range of choice. And so we're really excited about ornate coins because we just think it gives so much more choice to the player. Everybody has different play styles, different desires they want in the game. And so getting these is pretty awesome. And that's what you're going to get both in the Twitch drops as well as in the Discord quest that's going on right now.
That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, and I mean that's the thing is like these are and that like these stocks that you can change into. There's like so much stuff that you can customize and make your character different, which is actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Tico, we were gonna try and jump into a dungeon. So you and I queue, and then we can show off some other gameplay and stuff like that at the same time.
let's see if we can do that. Let me invite you, and I'll put us in a queue.
Okay, there. Oh, I got an invite. That's a good sign.
All right, good, good. So let me put us in here. You'll have to pick your role.
I'm gonna
so for
go
you, it's DP head.
offensive. Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's see what happens.
Yeah, I have never got to play one of the dungeons. So are the dungeons, you know, if somebody who's who's done MMOs before, is there going to be stuff that you're not used to? Is there a change on the mechanics at all, or?
There is some stuff you're not used to because there's, I would say, two pretty unique elements for Throne and Liberty. One is it is traditional tap target, kind of like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy style, but we also have this kind of block mechanic that you may have seen when you were doing the tutorial, and you used it just now, at least on my screen, to kind of block that attack from the bird. And so that mechanic gets built into a lot of parts of the fight as well, knowing when to block and when not to. In the earlier dungeons, it's pretty straightforward. You block when that purple circle kind of reaches down. That's what we'll see in this level 20 dungeon. But as you get into the higher level dungeons and the higher tier dungeons, those become more complex. There is both a block and a roll. You have to block and roll at different times.
Wow.
Sometimes you don't get that purple marker. You kind of have to know based on how the boss is behaving. So it gets more complex over time, and that's a nice feature that's in there that adds a different flavor, I would say, to the traditional kind of tap target piece. And then the other is the morphs that I mentioned. We have several dungeons where you have to incorporate the morph mechanic to be able to complete certain tasks and objectives in the dungeon. So that's pretty interesting as well. And then, you know, a lot of the rest of it is probably going to be generally familiar, though we think, you know, of course, we have some fun mechanics in there.
Of course, yeah. And then the other thing too is like you also have these things. Oh, I forgot what they're not. You have like overall quests that you have, but then you also have these tasks that you can get, and I got them from they're like your more traditional go kill this many or go do like what you consider the more filler.
Contract.
Say that one more time.
Our contracts.
Yeah, contracts. So contracts are like your more like what you guys used to consider like what may have been main quests in some of the other MMOs, but in yours, they're just, if you want to do them, you can, and they give you currency, but you don't necessarily have to if that's not your thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. I would say it's like an extra way to boost your power if you want. You can complete those. You'll be able to craft materials, etc. But you don't have to do them daily. That's one of the things that we really try to avoid in this game, is making you feel like if you don't complete something each day that you're going to lose it. So a lot of that stuff gets stored over time. So for example, contracts, you can store like nearly a week's worth of contracts if you want. So if you don't feel like doing them today, you don't have to. And that applies to most of our content. And then contracts in particular, you know, if you're heavily into collections or whatever else, you know, it's not really something that's necessary for you to do. If you're really heavy into being in the top 1% of power, you'll probably do them, as I said, so they don't expire, but it's going to be player by player.
And then I saw this thing, these secret dungeons. This is like the floor gatekeeper. These are those solo kind of...
That's right. These are what's called Titles Tower, and this is the solo. As you get higher and higher, they get more difficult. And this is like you do it one time and you get the reward for it. But the Gate of Infinity, when you get to level 50, what that will be is kind of harder versions of these bosses. And what's really fun about that is we have leaderboards for each weapon combination. If you finish at the top of the leaderboards, you'll get some special rewards. So it's another kind of PvE aspect, but that's still competitive in the game, so that players who like kind of a competitive feeling have an outlet for that as well. Not everything on that has to be based on the leaderboard. There is kind of completion rewards as well. So really trying to tailor for multiple audiences there.
Oh, and I just noticed this. So I had done, the last time I had done these contracts, these were all for contracts in this zone specifically before, but now I'm seeing that I can actually get contracts for not just the Urstella Fields, but also for the nesting grounds, which is where I was before. So it tries to give you stuff that's more level as well, which is actually pretty cool.
That's right, yeah, and there's actually different of these contract merchants throughout the game. So as you level up, you'll find some new ones, you'll meet some new ones. They will give you kind of higher level contracts as well. So that as you're progressing, you have content, as we said, that's kind of relevant to your level that you can be working on.
And I also have to say, by the way, thank you very much for making it really easy to know what I need to kill and what I don't need to kill.
Yeah.
You know,
it's one of my favorite parts too. The little diamonds over the heads for sure.
So you're like, okay, this is actually one I need to kill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and what's great is they'll change colors depending on the type of quest. So if you need to kill something for your main story quest, it'll show up as purple. If it's for your exploration codex, it'll show up as blue. And if it's for your contracts, it'll show up as yellow like this. So you kind of always know what it is you're killing and for what purpose, without necessarily having to memorize every name from the quest itself.
Well, I will say the dodge mechanic is definitely, you've made me a little nervous, right? Because I'm like, oh man, I hardly ever successfully dodge because it's not that you don't necessarily need it. It's just that, you know, you're healing and, you know, like I have a tendency not to like run in gun and get myself hurt. But I think I'm gonna have to definitely get used to that because that's gonna be a core part of doing the higher level dungeons then.
Yeah, I mean the blocks are you'll learn over time. You know we introduce it slowly. That's why the earlier stuff has kind of the more basic mode, and as you get higher level, it becomes more and more complex. And so you'll learn. Don't worry, I have faith in you. I'm watching you click your skills here, so I won't tell anyone about that outside of this chat. But you know,
you're seeing me do what? What am I doing?
I'm watching you click on your skills instead of using your keybind.
Yeah, I haven't quite. Well, it's funny because the keyboard that I have at the that I was playing on last night is not the same keyboard I have here in the studio. So I'm like, oh, it's a little bit different. So I'm actually using my key binding for all of my 1-2s, but not my farther in ones. Because I'd probably change all this if I, you know, as I get more. Because like I am definitely going to play this game more.
Yeah, it's fun, and I'm just giving you a hard time. No worries.
No, you're allowed to. You're allowed to. I mean, you're already now a family member of the. We got matchmaking.
Oh, okay. I better not miss it. I was watching your slightly delayed stream, so I'm glad you said something.
I just disappeared. I've been taken into the abyss.
Right. So now we've entered one of our co-op dungeons. This is a level 20 dungeon, so it is, you know, a bit more basic. We'll have to see how the team is here, though. Hopefully, we can successfully complete it. But yeah, let's jump in.
Okay. And what role are you gonna play, you think?
I'm playing tank here. I'm the one jumping. I probably look the best in the group.
Thanks for. You know what? I could put on my little outfit if you wanted to.
That's true. You could show that off.
I could. I got it. I gotta pop it in there. It's in here. There we go. I'll just. You know what? Fine. I'm just gonna make myself look better. There we go. Now you do not look better. Now I look better.
You're right. You're right about that. And so what we're doing in this dungeon Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to make a funny comment that Lex is just flexing on how close to the character he got today.
he looks just like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's how much does, like, in these earlier dungeons, how much does each individual party member really kind of matter? Is it like, does it feel like at the beginning it's just really kind of getting used to playing with each other, or?
In these, okay, looks like a mage froze one of our enemies here, so I have to wait for it to unfreeze. But
you're like, thanks.
I would say for these kind of more, maybe what you describe as kind of crash mobs along the way.
Yeah.
It's not going to be too critical. We'll have to see when we get to the boss, so.
That's when it's going to make the difference, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I think your group has a bigger impact on these kind of earlier mobs, mainly in the how quickly you're able to get through the content. Where it has the biggest impact is going to be on your ability to actually kill the boss at the end.
For the loot,
see where a MOBA, like one of those like MMO mouses would be great for like basically getting used to your. Because I mean, you use pretty much both of your core skill sets quite a bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You definitely need all of your abilities. So you need about 12 key binds for all of your skills. So.
Yeah, which is crazy. So it's like, for instance, like you're watching me click on the back end, which I don't like. I don't like being that slow with my reaction times on the back end ones. So,
how does the loot work? How do you guys plan the loot when you're doing the party array?
Yeah, so in the dungeons, the loot is tailored to you. It's not like anyone, you can't have anyone pick it up. It's just going to be dropped for you specifically. And you really only get loot at the mini boss, who drops some materials. And then you have a chest that you open at the end of the dungeon, and that's how you get the loot. And so there is at the top right under your mini map, there's kind of a purple looking icon, and it has a number next to it. That is the amount of what's called dimensional tokens, and that is what you use to unlock those chests. So you accumulate those each day, and then you can use them to unlock the chest after you kill the boss.
So much stuff is happening on screen right now, Alex. So much it just looks so good though. That's the thing. And by the way, can we just comment on how amazing I look right now?
Yeah, let me check out your character. Where are you? Oh yeah, there you are.
Dude, you can. I think you can see me from space. What do you mean? Where am I?
That's probably true. That's probably true.
And the cool thing, guys, is like as you're using your different skills, like for instance, I can use my magic stuff, but for me to be able to use my skills that are melee, I have to be right up against them. So it's like if you want to be a mage that's kind of up front, that's also casting, you can do like what I did, which is like using the greatsword.
Yeah, so, that's right. So
how much time do you have in the game?
Oh, well, let's see. Since we launched in our region, or do you count time that
I think count time all up. Time for you to flex, sir.
Probably, I don't know, a lot.
A lot.
I don't know how much. It's got to be. It's tough because we play on these PoA environments, and I don't really have a good way to track those numbers, but probably close to well over 600, 700 hours.
Wow.
All right, so now we're gonna go this way here. Sorry, this way.
So what do you guys think? Alex, what are they thinking of the gameplay and stuff like that? And how is your leveling, sir?
No, I think the chat overall, like I said, I was like, it's amazing that he has 700 hours as a developer, but it's also nice to have someone to tell you like this way, that way, to hold your hand. I thought that was nice, but I really like it. Character, no, I've been listening to you guys, dropping all the knowledge, and also I've been playing Who's the Real Alex with the chat.
With the chat?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. And so these dungeons, I would say, typically take maybe around 30 minutes if your group is kind of experienced and knows the mechanics already and is fighting. And if you don't, maybe it takes well, I guess it depends how many times the boss vanquishes you, but it can take anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, I would say, typically to complete one of these dungeons once you have reached maximum level.
Okay. So how based on what you're seeing from the group thus far, and I know we're only fighting trash right now, but what do you think of our little group? You think we're gonna do okay?
Seems okay. I think y'all have a pretty awesome tank. So.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I don't normally play tank, but I chose tank because I thought it would help us kill the group faster. So.
Feels like it. You seem to know exactly where we're supposed to go. That's usually a good sign of a tank. And you probably know the fights, which is actually probably one of the most important things for tank.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I would agree with that.
So did you play any other MMOs before you started working on this one?
Oh yeah, I've been playing MMOs probably since I was 12, something like that. Played a lot of MMOs going way back, Dark Age of Camelot, World of Warcraft.
Oh wow, okay.
All the classic Final Fantasy. I played all of them to some extent. So big MMO player, big MMO fan. So feel really lucky to be working on this game, to be honest. I think it's really, really a strong game, and really excited that it's finally out there for people to experience. When you work on something for many years and you finally get it out into the wilderness, it feels good. And just excited to see what people say and action their feedback. I'm sure there'll be plenty of feedback, so hopefully we can be responsive to that. And
And then how is the reception been? It seems like it's been really good. I've been watching a number of large streamers, you know, Shroud and others who've been playing it. How have you enjoyed how people have been playing it?
Yeah, I've been really happy with the reception. You know, I think whenever I peruse the community feedback, I see so much positivity. Some areas of improvement, of course, but we kind of look forward to that. We like getting ways that we can improve the game, but man, so much positive reception. People are really enjoying the crossplay. We're getting a lot of feedback about people enjoying being able to play with their friends who are typically on console and maybe aren't always included in this style of game. And so a lot of great feedback about that as well. And so, yeah, really, really happy, I would say, with the reception.
You know, it really impresses me that people actually, PC players actually have friends who play on console. I mean, I never even knew that was a thing.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they're on a different tier. Okay. I'm just kidding. No, I actually have a few friends that I've been wanting to play MMOs with, and we have been playing together on, you know, they're on console. They play typically a lot of first-person shooters, so it's pretty nice to be able to get them into a game like this. So really excited about that.
And then why don't you tell us a little bit about what the experience is going to be like as the thing. Whoa! I think I just got. Yeah, I did.
Uh-oh.
I watched him do that. I literally just watched him punch me in the face.
Don't worry, we killed him in your honor.
Thank you.
So you'll have to res. Actually, don't res yet.
Oh, I already did. You said you have to res, and then I resed.
Yeah, that's okay. I was just gonna. If you had waited a second, you would have res close to it, but that's okay. You can just run back.
Yeah, I'm just following this guy. He seems to know where he's going.
There you go.
Maybe.
Oh, you were gonna ask me a question though?
Yeah. When you think about what's expansion look like? How are people thinking about how this world is going to grow? Have you guys talked a little bit at all about that? I know it just launched, but people love to know that, you know, especially as games are healthy, what the world's gonna be in a year or two.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So actually, you know, this game is live in Korea right now. It went live in Korea before we launched it within the AGS regions, and a little bit before we launched, the Korean service actually had their first kind of world expansion. So if you open your map, actually we're in the dungeon right now.
But the world map?
A bit harder for me to explain to you how to get back, but maybe after the dungeon I'll show you on the map. But there's already been an expansive new zone. It's called Calandre, which is the server you happen to be on, and it increases the level cap from 50 to 55. Introduces 6 more dungeons, introduces I want to say 6 world bosses, maybe it's 4, introduces 2 more arc bosses, more of those abyss dungeons that I mentioned, those kind of huge sprawling dungeons. It has more of those, lots of new systems. So that kind of what I would consider sort of expansion level content is pretty good. And then so, you know, we will plan to bring that to our players as well. We're going to watch how our players progress. We want to make sure we're releasing content at a cadence that makes sense for them. We don't just want to pick an arbitrary date and go off that. And so we will be introducing that. And there is lots of content that's kind of already lined up. We had a roadmap article that we released a few weeks back. So I would encourage players to look at that. You can find it on playthroneandliberty.com, and then you can go to the news section and you should be able to see it there. But yeah, it's, really looking forward to more content coming to players for sure.
Wow,
and then
trying not
this is the
to
boss
stand
that
in
we're
the fail
fighting
here.
Yeah, and this is the boss we're fighting, so I won't tell you any mechanics yet, just kind of let you enjoy it. Let's see how it goes, and then
I blocked.
if we end up wiping, maybe
well,
I'll reveal some of the mechanics. Oh no, we have to stack on you, don't move.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
I'm here.
Whoop,
Oh
yeah.
man, that was like a lot. That was a big hit.
Yeah, our team didn't come.
Hey, so now I know when you do that, we got to stack. Okay.
Yeah, so it's actually whoever gets this kind of gray circle underneath them, that's who we'll need to stack on. He does less damage to us.
Dude, he just rocked me.
Whoop, yeah.
Oh, there's 2 of us down. Now, can we resurrect and run back, or no, we're locked out, yeah?
You can res, but you will be locked out.
Yeah, well, it's up to you guys to defeat this guy. Oh, he's almost dead.
Well, he's at
No, he's
60%.
not. Never mind. He's not even close to dead.
Yeah. So this guy's a few mechanics. This is actually also one of the level 50 dungeons we have. Of course, at level 50, we add more mechanics to it to make it harder. Yeah, sorry, got distracted for a moment.
Oh, you're okay. You're only just trying to fight a dungeon. You're only just trying to tank.
Yeah.
And be the world's best tank right now.
Uh-oh, he's about to kill someone else.
It's funny because the class that I usually play in MMOs is I'm always a healer, but I haven't played this game enough to feel confident as a healer yet.
I was wondering if you might pick one, not because I knew that, just because I was wondering if it may be something you would want to do.
Yeah, I actually like being either the healer. I've never been like. It's funny. All my friends have wanted to be the tanks, but I always like support classes. I think are just. I mean, there's just a special way. You know what I mean? You feel like you're always helping people, which I think I like. So. You're at 41%. Let's do it, guys.
I think we died here.
Oh.
Oh, never mind. I blocked it.
Good job. You got it.
Should I finish it out or should I wipe so you can try again?
Oh no, dude, finish it out, right? Like no, we don't. There's other people. I don't want just for me.
I want to make sure the game can be seen. Oh, you're in death. You're still in death cam.
Yeah, I'm just leaving it so people can see. Yeah. Don't worry. I didn't res, so I'm like they're getting like the spectator view.
All right. They're getting the Roby Tech special.
Hey, he's
now
dead
we get to
again.
watch the master play.
It gives me an idea that it's funny. I will say, like, as somebody who's played a lot of World of Warcraft and all that sort of stuff back in the day, it was like, playing a lot of these dungeons, especially if you did like with this, they had a tendency to be pretty easy. It's cool to see that the mechanics here, it's not just kind of a cakewalk in that regard. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, 29%. What do you feel? Are you feeling confident?
Yeah, I am.
He says, yeah, I am.
No pressure.
This is awesome.
I think we may have to do it one more time. There's only 2 of us now. I think I may die.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's at 24%.
Yeah, but I think this next mechanic. I'm gonna
Yeah.
die. Uh-oh, yeah, this is where I die.
Oh man. Okay. We'll do it one more time.
Yeah.
Let's not
one
have
more.
Roby die this time. That seems like that was the thing that went wrong, guys. Is Roby just died?
Let me tell the party what to do here. When a player gets a gray circle under them, everyone has to stack.
Oh, you actually have your AGS on there. So did they? Oh, it's not like so. When I worked at 343 on Halo and all those other ones, right? We'd always have like if you were playing with the dev, that we'd have a special color.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes
I just
that's
named
fun.
my
Sometimes
character.
that's not.
Yeah, I just named my character Tico AGS for today, just so you would easily know it was me. But yeah.
Okay, and the okay. So I think we're. Oh, you're just you're healing up.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say here, let's see, when he teleports. So the way it works is when he teleports, he'll actually teleport to the furthest player from him.
Oh, so if I stay close to you, then, so if we want to stay relatively close at that point in time, so you can pick up.
Yeah, so like ideally, whoever's playing ranged will be far away. He'll teleport to that ranged player, and then he'll do that mechanic where he was doing that kind of cone attack that was damaging you. He will go to furthest player and do cone attack. So that player should try to point him away.
Oh, so that way only you get hit.
So yeah, exactly. So that only the person he's fixated on gets hit, and then
that way
and
the
then
healers
other
can
mechanic
actually
is that
heal
we
you.
stack. Yep, and then the other mechanic is that we stack on the
A great circle.
Yep, on the gray circle.
Okay, here we go. Are you sad you're missing this, Mr. Alex?
No, I'm going for a swim.
Quick first. Oh, I was like, wait a minute. Oh, crud. I just dropped. That was good.
Are you transformed into an otter?
I am the otter. The otter player.
You see otter player.
Yeah, I was trying to finish the sailor story. But I can't see the sailor. But I guess I have completed. Alright, let's continue.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do it. And so that was the cone that somebody was supposed to turn away from us.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Block.
Blocked.
When he does
I
that
did
first circle, that's when we gotta block. Yeah, exactly. Crushing it. Stack on me, stack on me.
I'm on you. I'm on you. Stack. Okay, get on there, guys.
Nice, alright, that was good. We didn't die. Although this person might
Oh,
die.
there he is. He went away. That's good. Oh. Whoa, that one did not. That all hit us all.
Yeah. I don't have any heals for this guy. Block!
Yeah,
Goodbye.
I did not block on that one. I wasn't paying attention.
That's okay. If you have an ability called Da Vinci's Courage, you should press it.
Yep, got it. Just did it.
Yeah, nice.
I'm getting crushed here. Do not get hit by the cone. There we go. Used it. Okay, there we go.
Stack on me, stack on me.
I'm coming. There we go.
Oh!
Whoa, what did I stack on you?
Yeah, but not enough people were in, so like it
Oh,
distributes.
snap.
So if other people don't get in, then it can make it challenging.
I was there. And yeah, my health was pretty low because I didn't block that one time.
Yeah.
Tycho, you are low.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Yeah, there goes.
I'm dead. Dang it.
It was going so, I mean, like, I definitely felt like I knew the fight better that time, but yeah, that was,
Yeah. It was a little bit tough because we lost our healer. That was the first person that died.
oh,
So
that does not help at all.
I'm gonna tell this healer, stay closer to boss so he doesn't target you during the teleport phase.
This is it, guys. This is when you're playing a new MMO, and then you're learning
right.
stuff together.
We're experiencing the real deal here.
Yeah, this is learning fights. This is what it used to be.
With no pressure, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
only being watched by everybody at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it. Might be our last attempt.
Because we win, right?
That's right. Here we go.
Let's do it, guys.
Nice, that guy did it right. Sweet. That was good.
We're doing it.
Almost no damage taken. Block!
Block. Perfect.
Nice. When you block perfect, your ability actually transforms from a block into an extra ability. I don't know if you knew that.
Stack,
But-
stack, 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 stack.
Get over here, guys. Oh,
Still a lot of hits. Wow, okay.
Yeah, so this is where I was mentioning kind of as depending on how much your group knows will determine how long the dungeon might take as
Yeah,
you
exactly.
kill the boss. And of course, you'll make friends along the way, and you'll kind of be able to work together. a bit
Whoa,
more.
that was a lot of hits.
So,
What? I used my other ability already, so.
use mine. Let's see if we can live through this, but I don't think so. We're gonna have to stack here in a minute. Stack, stack.
Stack, 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 stack.
Stop moving, guy. Stop
moving.
moving.
I'm still alive. What am I doing? Oh, okay. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're feared right now. So. Yeah, because we weren't all in there, we also got feared.
Yeah, that's.
but-
I was like, okay, I'm running. This feels like yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, good news is we can try one more time if you want.
Yeah, it was going really, really well, and then the thing is that once people start spreading out, and then we had to deal with like him, then we got hit by a bunch of the arcs.
Question.
Yes.
How big is the team that actually, or yeah, how many people were involved in writing the whole story? Because there's so much detail to it, so many stories, so many books, so many documents. It's like, how do you guys keep it, like, you know, how the amount of organization and logistics must be crazy.
Yeah, I'm probably not the best person to answer that. I don't actually know the answer to that question. But there is a whole narrative team that's part of the NCSoft development team that works on a lot of the lore and the stories and all of that kind of interaction that you're seeing with the NPC. So there is a narrative team that is working on it. The size of it, though, I'm not entirely sure. So I
Yeah,
can't
that's
answer
fine.
that.
I mean, and like you have to know, yeah. Then you're like an expert because if you want to, like, you know, the expansions, like, well, you got to make sure that you know what happened before.
Exactly. And what's really nice about this game is that let's see what happened. Did we lose a party member?
Did we?
Let's see if we can re-queue here. And we can get our last party member in.
Hopefully they get in. Yeah, this should be quick, right?
We still have our healer, so it should be pretty quick, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I got a proud one. It's getting new stuff. Did we lose another one?
Potentially. Looks like yes, but should be.
Do we still have our healer though?
It looks like we do, although I think that she queued as DPS, so let's give it a minute and we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't fill relatively soon, we'll probably have to call it there.
Well, thank you very much for all your help in showing us, though. I mean, at least, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Let's
Any
hopefully.
other-
I want to drop a boss, guys. Come on, people out there. Join us and be part of our fight.
That's right. Anyone on US West could join us. Yeah, and these queues will typically be a little bit longer because it's in the leveling journey, so not as many people are queuing for them.
Right.
As compared to the end game dungeons, of course. So it can take a little bit. I think last time it took us, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes to get one, but yeah.
Yeah, we actually got in. I you know, based on what you were saying, I thought it might take longer than actually what it took, but it actually ended up doing pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, we have a large player base, and so it makes the queuing a lot better, a lot more quick. So.
I mean, I think people really should be joining me because of my amazing outfit.
Oh yeah, I was gonna actually mention maybe while we're waiting, we can go into the Mirror Boutique and just show some of that.
Oh sure, yeah, I can do that for sure.
So if you go to main menu and you press Mirror Boutique on the first, oh okay, yep, there you go. And then if you go to outfit, you can see this is one of the outfits that's available in the early access pack. And then if you click on, there's a darker version, like a dark themed one. There's the horns, and then there's the actual chest piece that goes with it.
Dude, that thing right there.
Yeah, so these are some of the ones in our shop. And that one there, that's the other kind of one that you can get from the packs that we were just giving away.
Oh, nice.
And then, well, I don't know which one, not this one. The one with the horns and the full metal.
Oh, this one?
I'm looking at a slightly delayed screen, so yeah, that's the one right there. And then you can see on the right-hand side, you have all that color customization I was talking about.
Right.
You have to unlock it, but you can click through that and change some of the colors, and you can see kind of what's available to you. So you're able to change colors, and then you're able to also change patterns and styles on it as well. So if you go down,
Oh, wow.
patterns that are available. That's right, and you can change the size of them and how transparent they are and their angle. You can make a lot of different customizations.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty cool stuff, like people trying to do like a Captain America, or these types.
Oh,
of
so there's a
things.
lot of things that you can. Wow. I
Yeah.
didn't even know I could do this. And I could be more flamboyant or less flamboyant, or that's crazy. Oh, I've still got my helmet on. My dude looks pretty incredible, though. You have to admit.
Yeah, and you can change also that one as well.
Yeah, I was
all
looking at that.
are customizable. That's really nice. If you click on the top where it says outfits instead of headpieces, top right,
Yeah.
and then up there, now you can start changing the colors to match your
Everything else.
Yeah.
That's
You
nuts.
have to, yeah. You have to click outfits first. You're changing the headpiece
Oh,
first.
okay. Oh, yeah. And then we also have patterns on here, too.
That's
Oh,
right.
snap. Look at that.
Yeah, there's some pretty fun stuff that you can do with it for sure. So it's been good.
You change the angle. I can be like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff. So it's pretty exciting. I like it a lot.
The
We've
emotes
seen-
are also really cool too, because I got this throne one.
Yeah, and we also have weapon cosmetics. That's where you were just at. But there is a throne one if you scroll down. Yeah, and we're gonna be adding some other fun ones too over time. So we're pretty excited about all the fun things you can do with your character.
That's cool.
It's extra fun with how awesome all the art and the characters themselves are. So it's pretty sweet.
So we got one more. We're just waiting, hoping we get a healer, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're about out of time. But
Okay.
I did want to say, I don't know if you can see chat, but there's a huge amount of W's in chat. Just thank you so much for coming
Yes,
on the
thank
stream
you
with
so
us
much.
today. This was like such a cool insider, guide to the game, and a bunch of people are talking about how they're gonna start kind of playing here soon. So, wanted to give an extra thanks for coming on with us.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. It's always fun to talk about our game, and yeah, really happy to be here.
I'm gonna get into a safe place. And then how do I leave the party?
So on the top left, right under your health bar, there's a little icon that looks like two faces or two heads, and you click on that, and there'll be a little icon next to your name that lets you leave the party.
Oh, there you go. Got it. Okay. I just want to let them get somebody else. Okay, cool. Well, guys, that was absolutely amazing. And Tico, thank you so much for walking us through the game. I now feel like I know way more about the game than what I was going to do before, right? So for sure. Yeah, it's so cool and it's so deep. And I promise I'm going to go and work on my, so I look less when I'm clicking on my key bindings instead of actually using them on my controller. I'm gonna be like, yeah, Tico would be making fun of me right now. But again, guys, you can go download Thrones and Liberty. It is free to play. You can absolutely check it out now. It is available. It launched on Tuesday, right? So there, you guys are getting like right in at the ground floor as well.
Yeah, now's a great time to get in for sure. It's still early. Everyone is leveling. You'll see lots of people. Truly open world, no load screen. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's a great time to get in.
Yeah. And anyway, guys, that is it for us. We are back next week. Do we have any plans? Oh, never mind. Yes, we have a very big one next week. Friday, live from NRG, the NRG Night Market. That's going to be happening Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Guys, you're definitely going to tune in for that. That is going to be absolutely insane. Again, Tico, thank you very much for thank you very much for joining us today from Amazon Game Studios. You guys maybe you'll see him around. You never know. He might be incognito playing. And then Alex, any closing thoughts? Anything that you want to share?
No, I really thank you, Tico, for coming over and teaching us everything about the game. The game is a lot of fun. I was just playing with you guys for dungeoning, trying to level up. Almost made it to 11, but it looks amazing and it just looks huge. So
People
thank
are
you so
saying
much for
already
coming.
playing. Got it already. And then Sarah, anything else that we forgot, or are we good shape? Where are we at?
Oh, we are good. So if everybody can rush off to go check out the Intel Rig Rush premiere, it's starting right now.
Yeah, and there we go, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and plop it in there. There you go. Join Rig Rush. Outside of that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Game.intel.com/rigrush. There it is. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.